Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show where we break down what's going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined, of course, by Josh Burns and birthday boy, Drunk Brian, everybody. Woo! Brian's a woo girl now.
And as such, it is my birthday.
Oh, man.
It is super awesome to see everyone.
This episode's going to be all about me. I started out as a child 30 years ago.
This is a preview for our, I hope to God we can make it soon, a YouTube series, Drunk Brian Explains.
Ooh, yeah. Well, you get your shit together.
Well, hold on, Brian. That's because we have some things that we need to talk about. And the first thing is our new favorite segment, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for
Cape Talk.
So we have a couple Cape Talk things to talk about. The first thing is, Brian, this is for you, man. Alan Moore has confirmed that he has retired from comic books.
Ooh, it's really upsetting.
Okay, so hold on. There's a lot of people playing the home game. Who is Alan Moore, and why do we care?
Who is Alan Moore? I'm glad you asked that, CJ. So Alan Moore is a very big, famous comic book writer. He has written things that you have most likely seen in some sort of cinematic form. Things like Watchmen and V for Vendetta and The Killing Joke and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I mean, the guy is a legend. He is legendarily crazy as well, but he has done some of the best work in the 80s and 90s. Hearing that he's retiring from comic books is not surprising, being as he is just shit on everything anybody has ever done with his stories ever since he wrote them. But it's still pretty big news. I'm a little sad to see that.
And I mean, we literally just talked about The Killing Joke a few weeks ago.
We did,
so
literally, like 3 weeks ago.
News.
We literally watched it and then talked about it.
Yes,
here's the thing. Watchmen is an absolute triumph. It's not like it's not, oh, that's a really cool book and it's really, it was start to finish amazing.
Absolutely.
And the movie is up right up until the end, more or less, frame for frame, the same. Everybody knows this movie. And as far as comic book movies go, or graphic novel movies, book, that sort of genre, I'm watching Watchmen before I watch anything else other than, say, Dark.
And I mean, V for Vendetta 2 is also a huge movie which has a gigantic following. So, I mean, this isn't just some nobody saying, I'm going to hang it up. Now, from what I can read here, him and Kevin O'Neill are going to finish up writing the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and apparently that's going to be his last contribution to this. But here's my real question, Brian. Knowing that he is a bit of a personality, is this something that's going to stay? Is this something that he's going to stick to? Is this final words?
No, yeah. He's not one to flip-flop. He's most certainly not going to come back. I think he's writing some novels, like actual real books without pictures, which are boring. It's so dumb.
He had a novel called Jerusalem, which went on sale on the 13th.
Is Batman in it? Because otherwise I don't care.
Nope.
Then I don't care. But no, he won't come back.
So is this a huge loss to the comic book world, or over recent years has this become less important?
I mean,
just due to the fact that
honestly, he's really just been doing his own work through his own publishing for years now. So, I mean, it's a loss in the terms of he was a great storyteller and had some really great ideas. I mean, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a very unique idea, very cool concept. And if anybody hasn't read at least the first trade and graphic novel, I highly suggest you do.
And don't say you saw the movie, because it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Not the same thing. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, he definitely was a visionary. So I mean, it is a huge loss, no matter how you slice it.
All right. So,
but is the guy entitled to his retirement or his post? You go to an office every day for a bunch of years. Like, is he deserves what he's doing?
Yeah, absolutely, he deserves it.
I just want to make sure, like, the guy deserves to pursue whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a loss, but maybe we see some more great work out of him.
Yeah, sure, in the form of novels that don't include Batman, which I won't read. That's fine.
All right, so let's move on to some exciting and happy Cape Talk news, and that is Fox has bought the rights to Stan Lee's life and wants to set his life in a
what the
action-adventure
actual
movie.
hell?
Why are you happy about that?
This is weird. This is really weird.
Guy's alive. He's still alive.
Yes, he is. And he's planned out some of his Marvel cameos. He kind of leaked that, but let's focus on this here.
I kind of wish it wasn't Fox.
Yeah, that's the only downfall to this is that it's
You would
it's
think it
Fox.
would be ABC.
Like they're gonna screw it up, and then they're gonna have to replace him with a Scottish actor in like 10 years. They're gonna screw him up, and it's gonna be McAvoy playing. I mean, you get it. It's just gonna be awful. Why would they do that?
they're doing this in like they're making him some sort of like James Bond type spy thing. Just Fox with their
He's just another nerd. He's created something amazing.
Listen, it's Fox with their amazing ideas like Gotham and shit like that, which is amazing.
So according to the Hollywood
And
Reporter,
canceling Firefly was like the best decision. Fox is such a good network with great ideas, and canceling shows like Arrested Development. I mean, come on. They have a great track record. Fuck Fox. Anyway.
tell me how you really feel, Brian. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the team that has been behind Twilight, The Maze Runner, and the upcoming
Yes,
Power Rangers
you
movies
saw-
You sold me a
You
Twilight.
sold me a Twilight.
are bringing a movie. Hold on, wait.
I need Stan Lee to bang a sparkly vampire right the fuck now. The more glitter, the better, CJ. I want at least all of the glitter.
So they're describing this movie is going to be in the tone of Kingsman and Roger Moore's 007. Does anybody believe this shit at all?
Nope.
No.
I believe if it's from anybody who was involved in Twilight, we'll see some girl who can't act breathing a lot with her.
Just making noises
weird
that shows you
faces.
how disgusted she is with everything.
Just hates life.
This sounds like to me when Sony was like, we're
Speaking
going to
of
make
hating
this.
life, the 50 Shades Darker trailer came out this week. Just
Ugh.
I saw it. I couldn't delete it from the internet. I tried. It was. I tried. I just kept. No.
No, let's come back to Cape Talk.
We're talking about saving the human beings from these miserable movies.
yes, in this Cape Talk, Josh and I are the Capes.
There's
Plot
no
twist.
official writers. There's no one really attached to the project, so there's more to be coming to this. But
You're shocking me with the.
listen, here's hoping they have the rights and they sell it to Disney, and Disney's like, can we do this right, please?
Here is the thing. I have watched many interviews with Stan the Man Lee over the years of me being the fan of the fandom that I am a fan of.
That's the title of the episode right there.
Yeah, the fan of the fandom that I am a fan of. That is, you are a wordsmith, my man. You really know. You have a vocabulary. Your ability to articulate ideas.
In Hamlet,
blows me
they say
away.
words.
Anyway, in watching these documentaries, I have heard at least 3 or 4 different versions of how the man came up with the idea of Spider-Man. I don't even think he remembers his life story, which is why we need to make a fictionalized James Bond type story of it. I don't need it. I love the guy.
So it's basically all he's going to do is get drunk, flirt with women, and then maybe punch somebody.
I'm just not I don't know why we need this.
Here's
no
my
one
hope.
asked for this.
My hope
No
is
one
that-
asked for this, CJ.
I agree. My hope is just like everything that Fox has is Marvel related, that they get somehow the rights taken away from them and it's given to Disney so they can make
What
it
else
proper.
has Fox gotten the rights taken away from? Because they still have X-Men. They still have Fantastic Four.
It's just a hope.
Please, Fox, give up Fantastic Four.
Oh, wait. Before we get. So, I watched X-Men Apocalypse for the first time.
Yes. let's talk
Oh,
about
yes.
When was that, CJ? It was a few days ago, right?
Actually, it was right after the last recording.
Yeah, you're right. I watched it last Friday night, and since then, I've watched it 4 more times.
You liked it that much?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I enjoyed it. I just felt it was a little weak in certain areas.
No, look, it took a while to get going, but once it got going, it was great.
Right.
And I didn't mind the story because I'm fine with the story. I don't know that much about Apocalypse, so I thought it was very cool, especially the way it ended. And we can, I'm hoping they just keep all these actors are young enough where they can do this another 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Here's hoping.
Right. That's I want to be Mr. Optimistic about this because I do like it.
Of X-Men Apocalypse, the villain for Wolverine 3 has been confirmed as Mr. Sinister, which they teased in X-Men Apocalypse. Was that your other topic, CJ?
No, but that was actually something that we should talk about because it's pretty big news. Do we know who's going to play him?
No.
No way.
I don't care, but
we
who
know
cares?
Nothing.
It's a great villain.
You know what we do know? Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
It's last Wolverine movie.
Yes.
But Mr. Sinister, guys, just Google him and we'll have a picture of him in the show notes. This is going to be so much fun to watch. This is going to be really cool.
See, here's my problem with that. In the comic book, Mr. Sinister is very much obsessed with Scott Summers and Jean Grey and not so much about Wolverine. So I don't know how this is going to work. Just saying.
Surprise. Fox is going to change something of the Marvel universe.
Anything that gets Hugh Jackman out of that role
it's non-canonical.
quickly.
That's my problem. It's not
Michael
canonical.
Thornton, I hear you screaming. Yes, we agree Josh is wrong.
No, he's got to go. It's time.
Listen.
No, it is time.
Okay.
Joe Pesci just joined the podcast.
Listen, they stuck you at the drive-thru, all right? No, I love Hugh Jackman in that role. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine to me, but it's been almost 20 years. Like, I agree with Josh. Like, probably time to get some fresh blood.
Yeah.
Fresh.
But
blood.
Josh never liked him, so that's where I thought his indignance.
Well, it's time. Like
I agree, it is time.
Everyone else has been replaced. I'm dying to see who Wolverine's going to be. I want you to admit that the first round of X-Men casting basically was dog shit compared to what we have now. With the exception of Ian McKellen, everything else sucked.
No, because I
don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, no. False.
Boo.
I will give you Halle Berry.
Really?
Yep.
I'll even give you James Marsden.
I will give you James Marsden too.
Yeah, terrible.
I will give you Ellen Page. And I will give you Shawn Ashmore.
No, Ellen Page is in the new. She's new.
No, she's Kitty Pryde in the old.
I know, but she's in both. She transfers.
I will even give you.
Don't you give him Patrick Stewart?
No, what the hell? No, Patrick Stewart was amazing in everything he's ever done ever.
He's bald. Great.
No,
he looks like
that's
Professor
not.
X.
That's not.
Anna Paquin. I actually like Famke Janssen as Jean Grey.
No,
no, I
not better than Sansa Stark, brother.
This is the nerdiest fight we've ever had here on the show. Yeah, Brian, Josh, it comes down to this. We disagree. There's a lot of bad casting, but overall,
why are you trying to move on from this topic?
I know. I'm just trying to summarize.
Brian and I don't normally. We don't disagree all that often.
That's very true. Which is why I am in the state.
Yes, I'm a few years older, so I don't know. Maybe that changes the way I feel about it. But when they rebooted the series, I felt great about nearly every character. And in that original series, most of them were terrible. Not all. I mean, obviously I was exaggerating, but they don't even stack up to the new movies.
Well, also some of the people that have joined that are already stars and they are established. And the first
kind of my
round,
point. It's better.
Well, the first round they were.
I don't even bother
stars.
with Tobey Maguire movies anymore. I don't even watch those Spider-Man movies anymore.
Okay.
You really gonna do this to me on my birthday?
I am.
You're really gonna do this to me?
I'm doing it. I'm bringing it up.
All right,
because we're gonna get it on the table.
Really,
get it on the
really,
table.
bro?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, drunk Brian.
Listen,
do your thing.
I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man too. I think he's going to be amazing. I think he's everything I have ever wanted in a Spider-Man ever in the world. But A, we don't get there without Tobey Maguire. B, those Tobey Maguire movies have a lot going for them. And I'm not talking about Spider-Man 3 before you say it, shut your mouth.
What's Spider-Man 3? There's a Spider-Man 3?
I am primarily talking about 1 and 2. I mean,
Agreed.
Those first two movies are highly enjoyable, very well done. And does Tobey Maguire look like he's 40 trying to play like he's 20? Yes, but he did a lot of stuff. So to me, those movies are the John Romita Spider-Man, the older kind of like
I get
world-weathered Spider-Man.
I do. No, I understand.
So
I get it.
Oh, well, obviously you don't because you don't watch the Tobey Maguire movies anymore.
No, I'm saying
you
that
wanted to start this, so I'm just saying.
Tobey Maguire, just like the first X-Men group, they laid a foundation to be built upon, right? Which that's good. I'm saying they're sort of better all ground up, mixed with water, and then formed into a wall instead of ever having to watch them again. They laid the groundwork for what is now really, really great stuff. Because you can't even in hindsight say, well, after the first X-Men movie, the other two, were really great. They weren't. I mean, after that, it just went to complete shit.
The second one is pretty great.
I like the second one. No, I do. I like the second one.
Is pretty great. And Spider-Man 2 is still considered one of the top 10 comic book movies of all time, including all the Marvel stuff and everything. Just saying.
I just can't see it anymore. I can't.
Okay.
Not based on what we have now.
I will give you the fact that the new X-Men series has way better actors and bigger stars to it than the first round of X-Men. However, at the time when you really compare what we were dealing with, these are a really good cast list for the first two X-Men movies, and we'll ignore the third.
If you watch those movies just completely not thinking about the fact that there are other movies after it, they are solid films. Mm-hmm. Not X3, not Spider-Man 3. We all know the train wreck both of those were, but those first two are solid.
They even mocked 3 movies in the third movie in the new X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, the third one always sucks. Yeah,
third one always sucks. But I think it's unfair to say that the first movie had terrible casting because just the top 4 people on the bill.
But you guys just went through a list of them, and we were like, man, right?
No. Hugh Jackman, great. Patrick Stewart, fantastic. Ian McKellen, great. I forget her name who plays Jean Grey. I like her.
Famke Janssen.
Thank you. We can definitely pass on James Marsden, right? We can agree on that one. We can give
Halle
him up.
Berry.
Oh, you really want to get into this? If you really want to get into this, I don't think the problem with Cyclops in those movies is James Marsden. I think it's
Me
the fact
neither.
that
I think it's Cyclops. Yeah.
Those scripts screwed Cyclops. Cyclops is a great fucking character.
They were just more focused on Hugh Jackman.
But the thing, the problem with those first 3 movies is it was Wolverine and his friends 1, Wolverine and his friends 2, Wolverine finds out about his origins, Wolverine's and his friends 3, Wolverine has to fight his girlfriend. Like that's all those movies were. Now these new movies are very focused on the team, and they're more focused on Professor X and Magneto, which is great. Which is why those movies are in.
Because you have 2 superior actors playing those characters.
I don't think it has anything to do with the people who are playing them. I think they are better scripts.
And when you say those 2 actors, are you talking about Michael Fassbender?
He's talking about James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender.
No, I don't think he gets better than Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. I mean, they're Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
I understand that. I'm saying for the roles that they're playing, right, you couldn't write an older character in there. So you got basically the best of that age group. You couldn't possibly have cast it better, is my point.
Okay.
Where for the older characters, you may have been able to substitute some other character at that point for Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen. You may have been able to do that. Oh, look, clearly, after the evening of drinking and podcasting, I'm not articulating ideas, either
CJ's gonna have
successful
hell of a time editing.
Yeah,
that's okay,
screwed.
but that I'm gonna save, and that's gonna keep me awake at night. All right,
more Cape talk. I have one more topic to talk about. Uno mas. You ready?
Last Cape Talk conversation. Let's do it.
You guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but Hulu has just announced that they're going to do a Hulu original series based on the comic book The Runaways.
Yes.
Do you know about it, Josh?
Yes.
Really cool concept, really cool comic book. Written by Brian K. Vaughan, who is a very talented writer. He's currently writing Saga for anybody who actually reads comic books who is still listening to this. He wrote Y the Last Man. He wrote this for a long time, and it's pretty much about this group of kids, teenagers essentially, who they're kind of the rich folk. They're like there were those people who kind of grew up in luxury but didn't know where their luxury came from. And they're kind of forced with to face the fact that their parents are supervillains, and the reason they grew up so well is because their parents made money off of making other people miserable. Really cool concept. Kind of a coming of age story. Just kids struggling with the fact that are we destined to be like our parents and that kind of stuff. Really awesome themes. I'm excited. It's a Hulu original, which is odd, being as Marvel has all sorts of Netflix shows. But I'm on board. I'm ready for it. Any opinions, either of you?
They made an appearance in House of M.
Yes, they did.
The Runaways.
They indeed did.
Part of the House of M story arc. So, I mean, I think it's an amazing story. If it's made, I don't care where it's made. Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, I don't give a shit. As long as it's not on ABC, I'm fine with it, right? So, yeah.
I haven't seen it. I've heard about this, and that was it. So I'm excited to watch it. I mean, Hulu, for me, proved original content with 11/22/63.
For the people who are playing the home game, when CJ says he's heard about it, he means I said something about it to him one day at work.
No, I read it on Flipboard. Okay. Well,
okay, you read it on Flipboard, which I also put in pocket.
I'll leave that in because it's better.
Okay. It's fine. Just saying.
All right. Well, that ends our segment of
Cape Talk.
Never gets old. Well,
Apparently.
Brian, in honor of your birthday,
what?
I have an experiment for you that you're going to help us out with.
No.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, oh yeah.
Every day, you look in the mirror, you look and you wonder, how much Nicolas Cage am I? And when push comes to shove and when shit hits the fan, could you do it? Could you rage like Nicolas Cage? Thankfully, Brian, we don't have to wait for the answer to this because we have a lovely website available on the internet called ragelikecage.com, where all you do is you click a button, you access your microphone, you let out your primal scream, and it'll tell you on a scale from 1 to Cage how Nick Cage you are. And Brian, I know you had some frustration with some epic people leaving the comic book world and some casting decisions that Josh has called into question for X-Men. And I would like for you to help that kind of listeners and I want you to rage like Cage. So, Brian, if you could do this, Brian, go on Google Chrome, please. Go to ragelikecage.com.
Okay. There is a button that says scream for me. Okay. I'm just supposed to scream?
So here's what's going to happen, Brian. You're just going to... So here, listeners, I'm going to save your ears.
Out.
Okay?
You got to let it out. All the anger from the previous Cape Talk. All of it.
It's a palate cleanser for you, buddy, okay?
All the birthday rage.
This goes out, okay? So listeners, I am going to save you and your ears from exploding. So I will make sure that Brian's screaming is muted enough for you so you can still hear it, but you don't have to adjust your set. So Brian, whenever you're ready, I would love for you to rage like Cage.
You need me to hit this button and then just scream?
Hit it, and then it's going to ask you...
Follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions.
Get ready to scream, okay? Wow. That was not cagey enough.
What did you get?
That's starting to get there. I'm impressed. You got 5 out of Cage. Wow.
5 out of Cage. And what's your gif? What's your gif of Nick Cage?
It looks like it's from Raising Arizona.
Is it him with the long hair screaming on the floor?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
With his goatee?
Yes.
5 out of Cage. That's solid. That's solid work.
I mean, Nick Cage has a pretty impressive range. So
they can make a website for anything nowadays. They can even make a website for 3 Yahoos and Doty talk.
I like that when you're done and you get your rating out of Cage and you get your GIF, then you get to share it on Facebook or Twitter.
Which is exactly what we're going to do right now. So we're going to put Brian's, because I put your audio here into this. So you got a 5 out of Cage. If anyone can beat Brian's 5 out of Cage, we would love to see a screenshot or your Facebook or your Twitter post.
Share it and then just tag us.
And tag us. So tag us at That Kind of Nerd on Twitter or just on Facebook, That Kind of Nerd, or us individually if you want to. You're friends with us. But Brian, I'm so glad that on your birthday you finally get to let the rage out of you and you got to rage like Cage.
There's still so much rage inside me.
So let's talk about some trailers that have hit the internet. Now, I know that we're going to talk about October blockbusters, so these are not the October stuff. But Josh, you kind of hit the internet pretty hard and found some trailers. Why don't you tell us what we should be watching right now?
Coming soon, and we're talking about a week from now, Netflix is Easy. Everyone should watch this trailer.
Yeah, the show's name is Easy. It's done by Netflix.
Easy drops Thursday, September 22nd. All episodes on Netflix, and it looks awesome.
The cast list is
pretty impressive.
So we looked at a couple of Netflix comedies before with big casts, and did anyone watch any of that show at all? It was that
Which
stand up.
The comedians thing. Yeah, I watched one episode and I wanted to. What do they call it? Oh yeah, put a drill to my head. So I did not finish watching it.
This though, Easy looks fantastic. Orlando Bloom, Dave Franco,
Jake Johnson, Mark Maron.
Oh, Mark Maron looks hilarious, as he always does in this. So it really is just a bunch of, it's about 9 relationships navigating through just life in Chicago, and it's they say, quote, the modern maze of love, sex, technology, and culture. It looks just like they really made sure that they had a good list of comedians to be there, that the material is strong enough to actually, warrant some conversation. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Happy Endings mixed with I don't know, How I Met Your Mother when you're in the bar.
I highly enjoyed that Happy Ending show.
Happy Endings is such a great show.
As opposed as I am to James Franco, I am that much in favor of Dave.
Yes, I agree with you on that. So this looks really great. The trailer is going to be on our website and, of course, in the show notes. Check it out. Again, it drops Thursday, September 22nd. All the episodes available only on Netflix. We'll probably watch an episode and give you a little idea of, if we like it or not. But this actually looks like a Netflix comedy that I will watch. What about you guys? Are you in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Brian? Drunk Brian, birthday Brian?
I am undecided.
Well, you'll watch an episode and no, that's fine. It's a perfect place to be. So, Josh, what is the second thing that we should be watching here? What's the next trailer?
So, Live by Night is the second one, and it's a Ben Affleck movie. So, I don't know if
I'm in. Shut up and take my money.
I don't know if it was screenplay written by Affleck like The Town was. It's definitely directed by Affleck like The Town was.
He wrote the adapted screenplay for this.
Did he? Okay.
Yes, he did.
Shut up and take my money.
It's another, gangster type movie. Affleck does this genre really well.
So the film seems to be set around that Ben Affleck's character is a former World War I soldier who comes home but only finds himself going into the Boston underworld and starts becoming a criminal. Becomes a gangster.
Listen. Affleck has directed 3 movies. I see that smirk, Josh. Shut it. Affleck has directed 3 movies. All have been freaking amazing. Gone Baby Gone, The Town, Argo. Solid movies. Whatever you think of the guy as an actor or as Batfleck, he is a solid director. Mm-hmm. And that coupled with the fact that I know he can do a Boston accent, The Town and Good Will Hunting, I'm in. This looks awesome. And on
top of that, you have Zoe Saldana, you have Sienna Miller, you have Chris Cooper, Brendan Gleeson. It's got a great Titus Welliver and Scott Eastwood just to round it out.
You may not know these names, but when you see them, you will know who we're talking about.
Who doesn't know these names? You're hurting my heart, CJ.
It's not me. It's other people. What are you talking about? It wasn't me.
Well, you're speaking for them. You're
defending their ignorance, CJ. How dare you?
They were born into their ignorance, right? And they were molded.
They were molded by their ignorance.
CJ. You merely adopted the ignorance. But these people were born into it.
Did I just do this to myself?
They were molded by it, CJ.
This is my own fault, isn't it?
You did not know what you were doing, but now I am here.
Hey, did you hear Batman co-wrote and directed this movie?
Yes, CJ. I am very disappointed that Batman did not write himself being broken. I don't know if you knew, but I broke the bat.
Well, the film comes out on January 13th, 2017. There's
People
obviously some time
Boston.
to go. Do
you want this man representing your city?
Actually, I think they do. They really tend to like Ben Affleck. He's a...
I know Good Will Hunting was an amazing movie, but seriously, Boston.
But also The Town, it kind of put a little violence into the scene of Boston.
Yes, I love violence. I also love theatricality and deception. They are very great tools for a man of Ben Affleck's stature.
Well, Bane, I thank you for stopping by, but January 13th, 2017, come back and tell us what you thought about this movie.
Yes, CJ, I will. While I am accepting my Oscar for the role in this movie that I do not play.
It's odd.
I was robbed last year, CJ. The fire rises.
I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that, Bane.
Oh, the fire rises. That one got me.
Any other trailer there, Joshua?
Well, I think we need to mention that our boy Tito, a friend, a colleague, and a listener of the show, tagged me earlier tonight on Facebook for this trailer for All Eyes on Me, which is a Tupac biopic, and I checked out the trailer. I thought it looked pretty solid. I don't know, Brian, CJ. Brian probably doesn't give a shit at all. CJ,
You, sir, are correct.
right?
I do not give a shit about this movie.
It looks
CJ?
really good. The actor they got to play Tupac looks so much like Tupac.
He does. He does look like him. I have a problem because he doesn't sound anything.
Yes.
Like he tries, but he.
I don't want people to think I don't give a shit about Tupac. Like, I think, sure, do the movie, just not for me. I get it. Whatever.
I think that, we've had, the Notorious Big movie, and I wasn't a huge fan of the movie itself, but these people that became characters, Tupac and Biggie specifically, that started out just doing something they were good at and ended up becoming larger than life cartoon characters, basically. To get these movies, we had the NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton. We had, the Biggie movie a while ago. This looks like a good story and one that needs to be told. But I'm not crazy about the actor.
I mean, I hope it'll get better. I hope as we see more, we'll like him more, or we won't really care. I mean, I didn't have a big problem with Michael Fassbender being Steve Jobs, even though it didn't sound like him. But I had a problem with the movie, not Michael Fassbender.
Well, no, but I guess I'm sort of relating it back to, Straight Outta Compton, for instance. Man, was that? I mean, it was amazingly well done, and it obviously doesn't hurt that you have
His son,
Cube's son,
right,
playing Cube. But that he's also a great actor. But the whole thing was great. So I'm not sure you can tell this story this way with this guy, but I hope it's good because I have a lot of respect for what Tupac did. And I mean, the music was a part of my life for years. So I want to see it done well.
and I think he will. I will be hopeful and the optimistic here and say I think you will.
Tito, thank you for tagging me. That was a solid call.
So it's time for me to show you some gadgety and just weirdy tech stuff that I found around the net. It's not as good as the fidget cube. I have a few things.
Weirdy tech stuff. That's a good one. That's like city thing.
So here we go for some weirdy nerd tech stuff. First thing is there is a Google Chrome extension that allows you to add a random button to Netflix.
Yeah, I'm not about that.
Wow, you just dismiss it like that, Brian?
Go ahead and explain it. Go ahead, CJ.
No. I can't believe you're not about that. All right, so look.
What if I get something like Cheetah Girls? I don't want that shit. I don't need a shuffle on my Netflix. That's all I'm saying. There's so much shit on Netflix that I want to watch. Why would I need a random button?
What if, okay, just for a moment, you and I texted back and forth for 30 minutes while I was on vacation before I could decide what to watch. Now, what if this random button, what if it could randomize your watch list? And I think I probably still have 200 different titles in my watch list. What if it randomized your watch list?
If it randomized my personal watch list that I picked out, sure? Is that what it does?
I'm not saying it does, and I'm not sure. I think CJ's point was, hey, Brian, hey, Josh, here's me being Mr. Positive and optimistic and trying to be,
that was CJ's first mistake.
Right. So you got that. And then, hey, would you guys use this thing? And I think absolutely I would use it. There are more times. I mean, in the past 3 nights, I've just flipped through Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and then iTunes, only to go back to Netflix and go, I'll just watch Scrubs.
Yeah, and I was flipping back between doing Psych, How I Met Your Mother, and then I have Supergirl in my queue, but I can't bring myself to watch it yet.
Like I started watching the Blacklist again.
Hang on. We're going back to Keep Talking for just 2 seconds. Just please please watch Supergirl. I need you to shut the hell up and just watch it.
I don't think I can.
It is a good show. It really is.
We'll see.
No,
We'll see.
no.
We'll see. We'll see.
No.
We'll see.
Listen, you run a nerdy podcast with me. You are required to watch this show. You need to watch this show. You may need to get like an episode or two, or maybe even 3 to really fall in love with it, but you will. And it is, I put it above Arrow. I think it's the second best show that CW is doing besides Flash. It is right up
Brian,
there.
if I used this random button on my playlist, it probably would have given me Supergirl.
Now let me ask you this.
But now that you've shat on the random button, we'll never see. We'll never know.
Let me ask you this. If it's a TV show, does it just pick a random episode, or does it pick up from the beginning?
That's a great question.
Great question. Why don't you use it and tell us?
I don't want to use it because you know what I do? I don't watch Netflix like a peasant on my MacBook. I watch it on my 50-inch TV that is also smart and knows things and can
and
do
is
streaming.
never ever molested by cats, because there are far too few in Brian's palatial. If I had to compare, like express it as like a ratio,
Right.
for instance,
Yes.
the cat to male ratio is very low.
Very low. Okay. Thank you. I didn't want to scare any women off from coming over to his house to do Netflix and chill because of all the cats. We know it's okay. So, ladies, if you want to Netflix and chill with Brian, cats won't bother you because there's very little cats.
I do feel the
Very
need to
low
point
ratio.
out that no lady has ever messaged me because they're like, "Here, I hear the cat to male ratio is very low. We should hang out." That's not how that happens.
Ladies, I need you to do something here.
Oh my god, no, you don't. Please
Brian
stop.
at
Stop
thatkindofnerd.com.
Stop
Just,
talking. Stop talking.
Just send him a little note. Just, hey, listen, I'm glad to hear the cat to male ratio is so low. That's it. No commitments. Just, I'm so glad to hear the cat to male ratio is low. It is the man's birthday. That's all we have to say. So let's move on to other things you may possibly use in your life that are a little odd. If you are a iPhone user, yeah, I'm talking to a lot of you, and just like 4 people are going to have to tune out for a minute. On the new iOS 10, you can now add stickers to your iMessages, but now there is a sticker pack called Grammar Snob, which is $1, which allows you to really just annoy the other person who made a grammatical mistake in your text messages. Josh, you saw this thing, and at first you're just like stupid, but then you saw it. And
Well, I realized how often I correct you, and I thought I could probably. It's worth $1. It's worth $1 just to basically slap the red pen on top of one of your texts.
yeah, so it looks like with a red pencil, someone has made corrections. There's scribble out marks. There is a change from good
Changing
to well.
your
We're,
right, good to
yep.
well, there and there.
2 and 2. So it looks really funny for $1. 99 cents. It looks pretty funny.
Totally worth it. to
Brian, are
continue
you a
to
great?
exhibit your dominance over your friends?
I am not a grammar snob. I don't have any use for it, but I am very appreciative when Josh decides to tell me that epic is long and peruse means to lightly read, not to read in depth. Or I'm sorry, to
it's
read
exactly
in depth.
the opposite.
To read in
Opposite,
depth, not
damn
to
it.
lightly read. I'm sorry.
How many times has he gone over that on this
I'm always
podcast?
appreciative.
It means to thoroughly examine. Peruse means to thoroughly examine. It does not mean to glance at.
All right. I thoroughly appreciate when Josh corrects me on that. So I'm sure this is going to be fantastic for our future endeavors. Other than that, I'll never use it. I don't care. I'll say literally, and I'll use whatever version of your I want to use. Thank you very much.
Don't tell me how to live my life, says Brian.
All right, last and finally for the weird nerdy news, I have this, that Walmart has applied for a patent for a self-driving shopping cart because pushing is just too damn exhausting. So this way now you'll be able to basically pick up like a pager like you would if you were go to like an Olive Garden. They're like, we'll let you know when your table is ready. You grab this thing, it summons a
CJ
cart.
only goes to Olive Garden in Brooklyn.
That's exactly right. It summons a cart and it'll follow you around, and then it has a tablet built inside of it. So if you need customer assistance, like what aisle is it, ketchup? You can just tap that in.
I gotta tell you, if you try to, like, you go to a tablet that's attached to your cart in a Walmart, after you scrub off the half-inch of filth that's on top of the tablet, and you say, "Where's the ketchup?" the tablet's gonna go, I don't know, man. I just put away these tennis balls. Like
I'm just the greeter. I don't know where anything is.
I'm surprised that the tablets actually stayed in the cart. That someone won't jack the tablet.
Depending on the Walmart, most likely it'll be gone.
I think you can finish most sentences with comma for people of Walmart. Right? So
yes.
And this is a crazy people of Walmart type idea. I'm waiting for these carts to rise up and choke additional margins out of some poor vendor, right? Like, I don't know what else the carts might do, but following folks around in Walmart, look, dude, when's the last time you ventured into a Walmart?
Every week.
There's
one literally right by my house.
I know there is. You still go to that, even though there's a Target right down the road?
Well, they just built the Target, so
I'm
yes.
aware of that, but it's right down the road.
Yes.
Go to the Target.
I would love to.
Just go.
But
Stop
what if,
going
okay,
to
hold
Walmart.
on. So let's say this. What if Target made carts that did this? Would you ever use a cart like this?
Still be waiting for it to rise up. No. I don't want anything automated following me around ever.
Let's say it started at Whole Foods. I mean, would that still make it an evil cart? What makes this cart rise up against humanity?
It follows you?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, no. That thing is going to follow me home and is going to be just outside my window. No.
Yeah, where only very few cats can jump onto it.
Right.
It's not with a boombox like Say Anything. It's gonna have like a knife like freaking Cape Fear or some shit like that.
It's weird. I don't like anything robotic really trailing.
That's how the Terminators do it. Isn't the whole point of getting a cart so I can like be lazy and kind of lean 90% of my weight on the cart? Why do I need this shit to follow me?
Now pushing is too exhausting, and now
it's gonna run over a child. That's what's going to happen.
Listen.
Somebody's going to throw like 3 cases of water in there. The brakes are going to fail. It's going to run over a child, and that's going to be the end of this experiment.
But Josh will know where the fire exits are for the Walmart and leave you behind.
There is a thing called inertia. Like, I can exert a very minimal amount of force because there are wheels on that cart, and it will just go.
Well, listen, it's going to be a while until this is at every Walmart, so we don't have to worry about the rise against the carted machines just yet. So it's interesting, just to say the least. And I sincerely hope this isn't a thing that catches on. Make cars better first before we're doing this crap.
Maybe this is the first step to smart cars.
Are they going to make my car follow me? Because I don't want that either.
My question is 2 things. Will this come with a squeaky wheel? And then what else is this going to be used on?
Listen, it's not the squeaky wheel you need. It's that one wheel.
That fishtail one?
Yeah, usually in like the back left.
The
it just
wheel that doesn't even touch
wobbles
the
all the
ground,
time.
yeah.
You don't know why it's wobbling or how it's working, but like it's just like all the time.
I'm sorry, it's like what? Well, that's the end of just the weird tech I found around the internet this week. I know a couple of you are going to have some thoughts, especially about the carts, because that seems to be driving them up a wall. No pun intended. Sorry. So we definitely want to hear from you. You can follow us on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thatkindofnerd. One other thing I wanted to say, and I'm going to keep this real brief, and I don't want the yelling to start yet. Okay?
Oh, it's about to. I'm just going to yell just for the hell of it.
Keep the yelling
I'm going
down.
to rage like Cage.
I got to go see a movie today at a Friday afternoon with me and my wife. Just us in the movie theater. It was awesome.
Was it Blair Witch?
I saw the Snowden movie. Now, hold on. Wait, no yelling. No yelling. You guys will hate it. My wife hated it. I liked it, but only because I watched a bunch of Snowden documentaries. So it's a bad movie.
Is it your MK Ultra upbringing that makes you like this movie?
No, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is just really good in this movie. He does a very good job.
Okay.
It's very boring.
Forget the fact that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in this movie.
Then it's a terrible movie.
Let's pretend I'm in this movie. How is this movie?
Awful. Boring and way too long.
Why did he do a Kermit voice?
Is that how Snowden sounds?
That's how Snowden talks.
Is Snowden Kermit?
And Snowden actually shows up in the movie at the end.
Yeah, at the very end.
He does.
Yeah,
Why couldn't he just be him? Why did he have to do a Kermit voice?
It's called acting, Josh. Look it up. So what you're saying is that in all honesty, you don't like the movie. You just like the actor in the movie and the subject matter of the movie.
I like the actor and the subject matter. The movie as a movie is bad. Correct. You're absolutely right.
Oh, I was told to give you a message in a recorded format by the person who bore this awesomeness 30 years ago that you see before you today. My mother is very upset that 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were talking about Hawaii Five-0, you said no one listening to this show cares about Hawaii Five-0. My mother cares about Hawaii Five-0, so suck it, CJ. I added.
Did your mom?
I added the suck it part.
I was just about to say, did your mom tell
I
me
added
to suck
that
it?
part, but my mom asked me to tell you in a very nice, polite form that she cares. I added the suck it.
The new Hawaii Five-0 or the old Hawaii?
The new. She enjoys the new one.
My apologies, Mama Thornton. You have my sincerest apologies.
You're welcome, Mom. Love you. Thanks for giving birth to me 30 years ago.
Well, that wraps up the show. So there's a few things that we need from you, the fans, to go ahead and help us along with. The first one is be sure to follow us and our other show, Hey Did You See, on Facebook and Twitter. Just search That Kind of Nerd or go to thatkindofnerd.com. There's links all over there to find it. Also, please send some wonderful birthday wishes, and maybe some ladies can say hello to Brian.
None of that is required
at
at all.
thatkindofnerd.com. So you can reach out to him there, or get it on Twitter too. We'll get the message to him. It's no problem.
I see the Twitter notifications. It's just whether or not I open them.
So make sure to get some messages to him. But mostly, please be sure to subscribe and to follow us on social media and on iTunes, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you found us. Just say, yes, give me these guys every week. So that way we can go ahead and help entertain
please
you.
let me listen to these people talk about nerdy stuff every week. I'm not giving myself to anybody. Sounds very arranged marriage shit. I don't want that.
At least not weekly.
No, yeah. I mean, that's a commitment that I really can't commit to right now. I have a lot of stuff going on with my place.
So with all of that being said, I want to thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work or wherever you listen to these shenanigans. And I'm sorry for anyone around you at that point too. But thank you so much for listening, and we will see you all next week. Also, again, be sure to check out our other show, Hey Did You See? Right now we are discussing Sherlock, and we are going to start Stranger Things in just a few weeks. So be sure to subscribe so you're ready for Stranger Things. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week. Happy birthday, Brian.
See, as soon as we push the button, then we can say whatever we want.
Is that how the rule works?
That's how the rule works. And the thing is, if we're going to give the people drunk birthday Brian, then we got to get it just going. We have to hit the button, we have to record, and we have to go.
I feel like I should finish this glass then. Finish this glass then.
We got to get the show on the road.
Watched many interviews with Stan the Man Lee over the years of me being the fan of the fandom that I am a fan of. And over the years of me being the fan of the fandom that I am a fan of.